makes them feel uncomfortable, and this was the case with Leonard. Although most people avoided him, I was drawn to him and his stories. Stories that seemed too strange to be true and too original to be fabricated. If even a small portion of the tales were true, then Chessington was ignorant of a very gallant man. If the tales were indeed made up, then Leonard was just as everyone thought him to be, insane. Either way, I had a tender spot in my heart for him, especially since he was now too old to properly care for himself. "Good day, Sir Leonard," I raised my voice in greeting as we approached his door. Many of his stories portrayed him as a knight in service to the king. I half-jokingly addressed him as such, but I could never tell if I was humouring him or if he was humouring me by graciously accepting my flippant use of the title. "Ah, dear Cedric," came the familiar warm voice. "Welcome to my palace. Please come in." We stepped into his home to see Leonard seated at a small table near the south wall. His left hand was resting on the sill of the window he was staring through. His silver hair and brows partnered with his bent frame to paint a picture of a man near the end of life's journey. He attempted to rise and meet us, but I halted him as I placed my hand on his shoulder. "It's all right, Leonard," I said. "I know you are already standing in your heart." "It's good to see you, Cedric and William," Leonard said with sincerity. He smiled at us with his eyes. "Hello, Leonard," William said. "How are you feeling today?" Leonard took in a deep breath, and he turned again toward the window. "They listened once before, but time has defeated the sincerity of truth," Leonard said, answering a question no one had asked. William glanced my way with a raised eyebrow. I smiled. "We brought some bread for you," I said, trying to break his distant trance. "I will try to bring some fruit on my next visit, but the city is pretty short on food these days." Leonard turned to us and gazed into my eyes. "Time is short," he said. "The power of the king is near, and the Dark One is mounted. You must be ready. The people must be ready." We were used to Leonard's odd talk, but today he seemed overcome with his delusions. "My mission is nearly complete," he said. "The sword of the king sings in anticipation of the one who is worthy." "Yes," I said, "your sword has no equal in splendour or beauty, that is certain. You have done well in its keeping." I rested my hand on his shoulder. "Leonard, we must leave you now, but I will return in a few days to check on you. We can talk more then." Leonard smiled. "Very well, Cedric. Thank you for the bread. The king will remember your kindness to me." I bowed and smiled as I winked at William. "Good day then, Sir Leonard," I said as we turned toward the door. Outside, William took a deep breath and shook his head. "Some day, William, you and I will be hallucinating fools too," I said as we quickened our pace to make the procession. "I don't think you should humour the old man so much," William said. "What harm can it do? Leonard is old, and if he wants to spend his final years believing in something more than we are living, then why not?" "Yes, but I think you crossed the line with that bit about the sword," William said as we entered the city. "The sword is real," I said. Soon I realized I was walking by myself. I turned around to see William standing still, with a perplexed look on his face. "What?" "Yes," I said. "Leonard owns a sword that is more magnificent than any I've ever seen, even more beautiful than any of the swords owned by the noble knights." "Where did he get such a sword?" he asked, still not quite believing me. "His story is long and bizarre, William. In truth, I do not know how he came to own it. He keeps it wrapped in a cloth in that old wooden chest in the corner. I fear that someone would kill him for it if they knew it was there. That is why I have told no one about it." William rejoined me, but his gait was slower now, and his thoughts appeared to be deep. "You're sure about this sword, Cedric?" he asked. "It's been years now, but I've seen it myself. It nearly glows in its splendour. Why someone would give a sword like that to Leonard is a mystery indeed."